Folks, before you even start today's video, pause it and go over to shopwcbs.com and get yourself a world-class Bullshitters t-shirt. We just launched, we have some awesome designs, and we're going to be adding more monthly. We're going to treat the store as a reflection of the channel. We have a great joke on a show, we're going to put it on a shirt. We're also going to make it very interactive. If you buy our beer glass and drink with us, you'll get a shout out. It'll be like drinking with us virtually. So folks, go over to shopwcbs.com, support independent entertainment because the real world entertainment sucks. And now it's time for the video.
The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Like most of you, I can't stop thinking about Spider-Man No Way Home. And finally, for the first time in years, we're able to talk about a trilogy being capped off better than it started. Actually, not dare I say at all. No Way Home is the best of the Holland trilogy. But that's what I wanted to talk about, trilogies. Today we have so many brands, so many franchises, so many films based on an IP that get countless sequels, remakes, reboots, etc. Very rarely do we have a string of films that are consistently good. Now, at the beginning I just said how I consider the last film to be better than the first film. Where do I actually rank the other two Spider-Man home films? Well, of all the Spider-Man films, I put them probably right in the middle. Better than The Amazing, better than Spider-Man 3, but not perfect. Not until we got to this film, No Way Home, have I finally found a Spider-Man film featuring Tom Holland that I'm excited by. And more importantly, I'm excited by what happens next with the character. That's really the most important thing any franchise film can do. What next? Not to neuter a film like The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and folks, I'm not here to take potshots at that movie, especially after everyone wants part 3 all of a sudden. I don't. But that film suffered from one big problem. The fact that it wanted to set up sequels before it even had a film of its own to finish. The No Way Home trilogy, or the Home trilogy as we'll call it, definitely had that. I don't know how much they knew the direction they were taking Spider-Man, but it felt like each film was a contained story that was building towards something else, and it didn't suffer. Each film felt complete. I wasn't waiting for the sequel for this joke or for this to make sense. No. Love it or hate it, each one of those films you could watch in a vacuum, understand a complete story. And then on top of the fact that each film is a nice, complete story, the overarching story across all 3 films is entertaining and enjoyable. Now, a lot of my feeling does come from the end of how they ended the trilogy. Most of my life, the 3rd film in the series was the weakest. Growing up when there were only 3 Star Wars films, yeah, I'm that old, everyone considered Return of the Jedi the lesser of the 3, but they all considered each film amazing. Same with Jurassic Park 3. When that was a trilogy, that was considered the worst, and so on and so on. But very rarely do you have a trilogy end that actually makes everything better. You could even take it back to the Dark Knight trilogy, where the first film, in my opinion, is the best, the second one's awesome, a legendary one, but the third one's kind of a letdown. That's been the tenor of a lot of trilogies these days. And the biggest franchise of all time definitely suffered from that. Back on Star Wars for just a moment, because, everything revolves around Star Wars some way or the other. I guess Book of Boba Fett's coming out. Are you going to watch it? Let me know in the comments section below. Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe it'll be a New Year's drunk watch. Who knows? I do like the character of Boba Fett, but I digress. The point I want to make, though, is there are 3 Star Wars trilogies, and each one, well, 2 of the 3 trilogies end very well. If you look at the prequel trilogy, The Phantom Menace is kind of confusing at times. Well, anytime Jar Jar speaks is quite confusing, but you know that one. When we get to Attack of the Clones, the film I almost forgot the name of, well, there you go. It's a very forgettable, dare I say, the worst Star Wars film. Up until the sequels, that was the lowest one for me. And then Revenge of the Sith ends it so well, so strongly. That was a great trilogy. But the sequel trilogy, which is the comparison I want to make today, to the Spider-Man trilogy, yeah, the Spider-Man trilogy. There was one of those back in the day, but Spider-Man 3, no. I mean, I love Tobey Maguire. I love Sam Raimi movies. I love The Suit. I love Aunt May, played by Rosemary Harris. I love the world built in the Raimi films. But Spider-Man 3, come on. If we're going to look back with our nostalgia goggles, make sure they're clear, because Spider-Man 3 and the Amazing Spider-Man franchise had a lot of problems. The Star Wars sequel trilogy started out as a problem. The Force Awakens was so concerned with selling you nostalgia, the Chewie we're home moment. That was the crux of that film. You got your nostalgia, you got your money, but we didn't get a story. Hey, remember that scene in the movie where someone goes, hey, how did you get Luke Skywalker's lightsaber? The film responds with, that's a story for another time. That trilogy ended, we never got the story that was bad storytelling. Really, it revolves around J.J. Abrams. His mystery box, never end a story, never do this, never do that. Listen, bitch, you gotta understand one thing. The taste left in the fan's mouth by a bad film is what we remember. We're all riding high on Spider-Man, which has already made $500 million in just a few days, because it knew what it wanted to be, and it gave us a nice finale. Look, in a few days, this movie's gonna beat The Rise of Skywalker already. Good for somebody. It ain't me. I don't get a cut of this shit. Do you? And if you do, cut us a check. Send it to the P.O. Box. We'll greatly appreciate it. Now, I can spare you the history lesson on how bad Rian Johnson shit the bed with Star Wars. And I will. You can go back and watch any of the videos from when the movie was out new to a few weeks ago and we're still questioning the Rian Johnson trilogy. But the most important part for some people of the trilogy is how it ends. The Rock, the wrestler, back when he was still a wrestler and had made 1 or 2 movies, came back to the WWE and cut a promo. The Rock had a feud with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Some would consider it the greatest feud of all time. I'm personally a fan of The Rock versus Triple H, but I digress. My point is, The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin was a trilogy of matches across 3 WrestleManias, WrestleManias 15, 17, and 19. And in the build-up, the promo package for WrestleMania 19, the big epic finale to The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock said a line that has stuck with me, and I quote, "But if there's one thing that Hollywood has taught me, Act 1 and Act 2, they don't matter. The only thing that matters, the only thing that everyone remembers, Act 3. Now, The Rock is talking about a trilogy of matches, but I'm talking about a trilogy of films, and you only remember the final act, the final chapter in these trilogies, if you will. The Star Wars sequels came out with a bang. They had all the potential, all the possibility in the world, and they chose to fucking ruin it by doing stupid, terrible, antithetical, creative decisions that ruined the history, the legacy, the fun, the quality, the insert positive word associated with Star Wars. This trilogy took it away. And how do we remember it? By The Rise of Skywalker. We remember, oh, I'm Ray Skywalker, and all this other dumb horse shit. They're riding horses on the side of Star Destroyers. How did Palpatine not die? Where was Luke's Force Ghost? Blah, blah, blah. 1,000,001 fucking questions to a dumb limp noodle of a fucking ending. That is what Spider-Man does better than most trilogies today. I'll give it to the Captain America trilogy. That one, that had a nice arc. But that's the rare exception. Iron Man had a pretty shitty trilogy. Oh my God, you're taking shots on Iron Man? He's the greatest. Look, Robert Downey Jr. is a 10 out of 10 and I love him. But Iron Man 1 is the best, hands down. That's a 10 out of 10 movie for me. Iron Man 2? Ugh. Iron Man 3? Ugh. If you're going to give me the list of the most overrated MCU films, put Iron Man 3 on that list. I can't understand why people like it so much. It's funny, it's got this, it's got that. It's a shit movie. I saw it opening day. I hated it then. I still don't like it now. Nothing really has changed. It is not a solid trilogy. Where Iron Man lives and dies, no pun intended, is in the Avengers other films where he does have a better arc. You know, the Avengers films, they aren't a trilogy. That is a 4-part film series. Very rarely does a trilogy end as well as Spider-Man No Way Home. I mean, for God's sakes, the way it ends, no spoilers, it leaves you open to 1,000,001 possibilities with the character. And that is what's important. I like a nice sense of finality for a trilogy, but make sure that you guys give us a nice sense of finality and a good story. Because it seems like I'll never see those characters from a galaxy far, far away, but I'm also okay with that because you've delivered absolute dog shit since 2015. Now, Sony, on the other hand, you might have figured it out. You don't have all the Disney bucks behind you. I don't know who's responsible for why this movie is the way it is, but hopefully people take note. They don't try to overdo it. And I hope they don't try to figure out what makes Spider-Man click with audiences and change everything. Folks, what it is, they told a nice, complete story with good acting, good characters, no political rhetoric, no talking down to the audience. See, that's it. That's the number one thing, and I waited till the end of the video to say it. It's so refreshing to not only enjoy a movie because of its quality, but it's also nice to not be treated like a toddler. The Eternals wanted to teach you a lesson. Shang-Chi wanted to teach you a lesson. Black Widow wanted to teach you a lesson. The Eternals was all about the gay sex scene and the kiss and Fastos and all that dumb shit. Shang-Chi was about the first Asian superhero and what a douchebag the actor is on social media. And Black Widow, they tried to go for the, hey, it's our first female-led superhero movie, but you blew your load with Captain Marvel, and that, well, when you rebrand mid-trilogy, things don't look too good. So folks, in a couple years, get back to me if they're going to have that Captain Marvel trilogy, or are they going to about face and become the Marvels 4, or the Marvelous Mrs. Marvel, or something like that. The Marvelous Miss Marvel. I hope Amazon would sue, but that's not that bad of a title. But I digress. Folks, what do you think of Spider-Man No Way Home? Do you think it is the perfect way to cap off a trilogy? I'm surprised with how enjoyable it was. I want to see the film again. I saw it on Thursday night for the show. Saturday morning, I thought, I got some time. I could run up to the local Regal Theater and see Spider-Man again. Maybe I'll do it over Christmas break. Now, folks, starting tomorrow, I'll be out of town, but that doesn't mean I'll be away. If you follow us on Patreon and other forms of social media, I've let everyone know where we've been as of late, but 2022 starts everything anew. I had a lot of awesome opportunities. Kendo had some big life-changing things. He's moved across the country, he's married, he's going to be our channel dad, all kinds of awesome stuff for the WCBS crew in our real life, and thankfully, things have picked up here in the digital world, and we're going to continue to grow here as well. So, folks, thank you for watching. Merry Christmas, because that's what I celebrate, and that's just how I roll. And also, a Merry New Year. If people ask, tell them Lionel Joseph sent you. But folks, as you know, we do this for you, and backing our art, supporting the art, well, it helps all of us. And guess what? It's fun. I'm not asking you to back an encyclopedia. I just watched that movie 8-Bit Christmas, which was awesome. It was like The Princess Bride meets A Christmas Story meets the most heartwarming thing you'll see this season. And in the story, this kid did everything he could to work hard and earn a Nintendo. And he got a set of encyclopedias. That's a disappointment. When you back Wokebusters, you get the excitement of backing the project, and then over the summer, you're gonna get the excitement of the book. You'll get exactly what you want. The comic that tackles all this bullshit, political correctness, wokeness, it makes fun of everything. Folks, click the link in the description, find out about the giant monster sightings that are ruining the world and how the people are becoming triggered in these ugly beasts. All of it over there on Wokebusters by me, Jeff Hicks. So folks, thank you for watching. I'll be back next time with more. But in the meantime, be smart, be safe, be cool, be merry this holiday season, but always be excellent to each other.